Hi kids, it's Mrs. Fravel. How are you? Good. I hope you're fine. I'm fine. Thanks for asking. Okay, today we're gonna get right on going. We're gonna talk about our first group of vertebrate animals, the basic vertebrate, the default setting for the avatar that is the vertebrate group of animals. So we're going to start with the fish, from which body plan all other vertebrates evolved. So without further ado, here we go. Let me get out. This is too big. Let me get out of the way. Okay. Here we go. All right, so you should have started with your starter questions on Canvas, and ignore that first sentence. I just forgot to take that off from last year. Okay, so let's quickly go through these. What phylum includes a dorsal nerve cord and a notochord? That's Phylum Chordata, what we talked about last week. And what are the three subphyla in that phylum? We got the headless weirdos, the Urochordata. We have the jawless wonders, Amphioxus, in the Cephalochordata subphylum. And then, of course, subphylum Vertebrata. And that's where we're going to be now for the rest of the year. What are the distinguishing characteristics of vertebrates? Within the phylum Chordata, Vertebrata has specific characteristics that make it very, very special. That includes the vertebral column, or the spine, or the backbone, jaws, and a head. And then what are the three classes of fish? You should have grabbed these from the notes on chordates when I listed all of the classes within Chordata. So these are the first three classes of chordates, first three classes of vertebrates that we're going to talk about. So there is no one group called, taxonomically, called fish. There is a clade called fish, where these three classes are kind of included together. But each of these groups, each of these classes is their own separate class within the subphylum Vertebrata, which becomes important when you do your Prezi for this. So, and so that you can sound smart when you're talking to taxonomists or fish biologists, which are called ichthyologists. So we're going to start calling the study of these groups of animals as we go by their ology name. So the first thing we're going to cover is ichthyology, woohoo, which are fishies. I like fishies. I have many, many fishies for pets. I don't have any of these guys, though, which is a bummer. But these are a few of my favorite fish, and maybe a few fish that you are familiar with. However, the first fish that we're actually going to talk about is none of these, and maybe none of you have seen them before. In class, I will have a real demo of the first group that we're going to talk about. But let's just get started, shall we? Finally, Fravel, stop yapping. Okay, fish. Fish first appear in the Paleozoic era, about 419 million years ago. During the Devonian period is when they kind of exploded as a group in terms of diversity and importance in their ecosystem. This was still before there were any land vertebrates. There were the beginnings of land plants. The Devonian period is called the Age of Fishes because the sea was becoming dominated by fish, and they were replacing the arthropods that had been so prevalent. And they were able to do that because of that backbone that made their bodies more flexible and also stronger, and that nerve cord that made them respond quicker, grow larger. They have those jaws so that they can consume way more food way more quickly. And then today we have, of course, this wonderful diversity of beautiful fish all over the ocean, all over our freshwater ecosystems. There are very few bodies of water that don't include fish. We have one of those bodies of water that don't include fish here, the Great Salt Lake. It's too salty. But so we'll talk about fish physiology next week. Okay? There were some weirdos in the ocean back then. Okay. So fish are, oh, you should be taking notes now, by the way. These are not the characteristics. That'll be next. Just so that we kind of get a touchstone. We've been talking about invertebrate animals for the whole last 2 quarters, and now we're going to talk about vertebrates. Well, how was this such a major advancement? Okay, so fish are more advanced than their invertebrate ancestors because they had a skull that was a bony or cartilaginous protective bone around their sensory organs. So brains, eyes, and all of their chemosense and a little bit in their gills had these protective armor layers. Especially early fish, they actually had external bony armor on their heads. They also had bones, those internal skeletons where their muscles could attach and have more strength and flexibility for movement. They were the first ones to have jaws, and those jaws again evolved from gill slits in the embryological line. And they have fins. Fins are special. Fins become important evolutionarily because you have fins. Fins are just on fish. They are paired appendages, and they are different from the appendages of invertebrates because they do have internal structures for internal skeleton, basically. Not all fish have internal skeleton on their fins. I'll talk about the ones that do next week. Yeah. Okay. So basic characteristics. What do all fish have? All fish have gills for respiration. That's how they breathe. They extract oxygen from the water, exchange it for carbon dioxide from their body. And their gills are beautiful and wonderful, and we'll talk more about them. They have scales on their external surface. Scales are overlapping dermal plates. They shield the body from the environment. They also protect the fish from predators. And the way that they are designed, they are hydrodynamic. They actually reduce the drag of water so the fish can move through the water more smoothly, more efficiently, and expend less energy. They have fins. This is their appendages. They use them for movement and for stability. We'll talk more about those. They live in water. There are no land fishes. So if it's in the water and has all these other things, it's a fish of some sort. And they are ectothermic. We've not really talked about thermal regulation because all invertebrates are ectothermic. But here's where we get into starting some metabolic thermoregulation changes in this subphylum Invertebrata. Ectothermy is you basically match the environment around you, your internal temperature. Most ectothermic vertebrates only function within a narrow range of temperature. So if they're ectothermic, their body slows down and they can't do their metabolic processes. There are some that have a wider range. I think we talked about this way back in the physiology unit at the beginning of the year. I'm sure you remember. Ectothermy, endothermy, poikilothermy. Okay, so poikilothermy, they just have a wider range that they can function at, but they still are ectothermic. So all fish are ectothermic. Some of them are poikilotherms. Some of them mimic endothermy just by how big they are and their muscular, their muscles can generate heat a little bit when they swim really fast, like tuna. There is one fish that we know of that is genuinely endothermic, and that is the Opah, O-P-A-H. Look them up. They're super weird looking, also kind of cute. Okay, so these are the characteristics of fish. This is what you will need to put on your Prezi when we do the Prezi for fish. Okay? Okay. All right, so there's 3 classes of fish. Agnatha, these are jawless fish. Right there. Chondrichthyes, these are fish that have an internal skeleton made of cartilage. These are sharks, rays, and chimeras, and I will be showing you all of these in class. If you don't know what cartilage is, I think I did this last time, but if you don't know what cartilage is, grab your ear and bend it, or touch the end of your nose and squish it around. The bone, the ossified part of your nose ends halfway down your nose. depending on how big your nose is. And then that's that bendable kind of supportive internal structure, that's cartilage in you. Their whole skeleton's made from that, except for their jaws. Okay? And then osteichthyes, these are the bony fish. They have a bony internal skeleton, and there are two big groups of them, lobe-finned and ray-finned fish. And we'll talk about those next week. Okay? Any questions so far? Okay, let's talk about these guys. This is the first class of fish, class Agnatha. Now that word itself means away from a jaw, or no jaw, or without a jaw. A means away from or not. Gnath, G-N-A-T-H, means jaw. So these are different species of lampreys and hagfish, although there's some... Of course, there's some taxonomic argument going on about are hagfish the same. I'm going to include them in the jawless fish in Agnatha. Come at me, taxonomy people. Just kidding. Okay, so the characteristics of class Agnatha is these guys do not have paired fins. The other groups of fish do. They don't have scales. Their skin is very slick. They also, they extrude copious amounts of slime through their skin, like not just slime to keep their body hydrated and protect against predators and protect against bacterial invasion. These guys produce like gallons of slime. It's terrible. Anyway, they have no jaws. So these guys are the jawless, most primitive of the vertebrates, and but they do have a skull, and they have cartilaginous skeletons, and they are very bendy. They can tie themselves up in knots, and here's what their face holes look like. So a lot of these are scavengers or predatory parasites. So they have this jaw, not a jaw, they have a structure that surrounds their mouth opening, and it is covered with teeth. And it varies by species, but these little dots on that, those are all teeth, and they can drill into flesh, either dead or living flesh, and then they just kind of grind it up and toss it on down the gullet. You guys, I'm not a fan of these. Okay, all right. That's all I have to talk about today is the Agnatha. And so on Canvas today, your assignment is the Agnatha reading and questions. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. What you've done before, click the thing, read the stuff, and answer the questions in your own words. Do not copy and paste. Yes, I can tell when you've done it. Yes, I will take off points. Okay. You guys have a beautiful day. Have a great week, and I hope to see you soon. Be good, be safe, be kind. Bye.